Hello, everyone, and welcome in to your weekend reading. And this is for Saturday, February 24th and Sunday, February 25th. So this is that new style of weekend reading where I'll pull the cards for the collective, then I'll go sign grouping by sign grouping. And then at the end of each sign grouping, I'll do the individual zodiac signs. I'll pull a couple cards for each individual zodiac sign as well. So check in the description box below, and that'll give you the timestamps and the links to that section. And remember, as always, take only what resonates. Don't try to force this narrative onto your situation if it doesn't fit. There's going to be the new videos coming out for the first half of March, and those will be posting soon. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos are posting, as well as some of the other more periodic ones like the pick a pile, message from your person, twin flame readings, and things like that. So one of the big things before we jump in on Saturday, so the 24th is when we have that full moon in Virgo. And that's going to bring kind of an energy of like, let's get things done. Let's get some of these things off of the to-do list. It has kind of that feeling of wanting to make progress on things. So, maybe you're kind of spurred into wanting to make major progress on big things, or just knocking a whole bunch of little things off your to-do list and kind of giving you that fresh surge of energy, like, all right, I'm getting things done. So let's go ahead and look at the energy for the collective in general. So we'll pull 3 cards there. We have our 5 of Pentacles. We have our Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And we have our King of Swords. So the 5 of Pentacles energy, this is kind of that energy of like things not really working out, like being disappointed. It's kind of that being out in the cold. In this deck, this Housewives deck, she's crying over the fact that the plates are falling on the floor and one of them is totally broken. So there's that sense of like struggles and hardships. Then we also have our Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and that's like missed opportunities or failed investments. So it's again kind of that tough energy when it comes to Pentacles, which is going to be financial. So I mean, it can represent money, like financial wealth, but it's also any of your resources. So your time, your energy, your effort, things like that. With our King of Swords energy, that's going to be this like more authoritative type of energy, a little bit more of like that no nonsense type of energy. And I would say that kind of goes along with when things get tough, a lot of times there's that sense of like, okay, no, I can't think about like the warm and fuzzies and the happy, it kind of puts you more into that, let's get this done. So some of this could go along maybe well with that full moon energy. Oh, just went flying off. The world is what landed face up. There was a whole bunch of cards, so I'll keep shuffling them. But a little bit of that that energy of, okay, let's start getting things off the to-do list. Like things, if there have been some missed opportunities or some disappointments, kind of that sense of, okay, this bigger stuff is outside of my control, so I'm going to focus on what are some of the small things I can do, some small improvements to kind of feel like I'm back on track a little bit. All right, so with it being full moon in Virgo, let's start with our earth signs. So that is going to be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see what specific messages are coming out for you for this weekend. The High Priestess. So this is that inner wisdom, divine feminine type of feel. So it's that higher consciousness as well. So we'll see how that goes. And some of it, if you're talking about inner wisdom, there's also a sense of, okay, if things have been falling through the cracks, if you've had disappointments, some missed opportunities, there's a little bit of that sense of you need to detach from the emotional part of it, like, oh my gosh, this didn't work out, or whatever that disappointment is. So, the King of Swords is pushing into that more logical, less, oh my gosh, it didn't happen the way I thought. And then bringing in this high priestess energy allows you to see it from the lessons perspective. Because remember, we're here to learn lessons. This is a classroom. And so each lesson that you learn is for your soul growth. Everything that's here, everything that you're encountering, all of these experiences, good, bad, neutral, good, bad, indifferent, they're here for your growth. And so it's a matter of, can you push yourself into this high priestess energy to say, you know what, this is happening for me. What is my lesson that I need to learn? What is it that has led to me feeling locked out of my blessings? And what do I need to do to change that so that I can, jump timelines and sit in a higher vibration? Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So just, what I was just talking about in terms of, if you're feeling locked out of your blessings, how can you detach? How can you push yourself into this high priestess energy and say, okay, but what is the lesson for that? And that can be hard. I mean, obviously it's easy for me to sit here and say it detached from whatever scenario it is that you're going through, because usually when these cards flip, whatever it is that you're immediately thinking about, that means that this message is resonating for you, and Spirit is trying to give you something different to think about, or, give you a new way to think about it. So like when you watch tarot readings like this, generally speaking, it's not that I'm pointing to something that is so totally outside of the realm of what you were even possibly considering. It's usually that there's something going on and you're trying to get some sort of direction or guidance on it. So whatever this failure is, whatever this, like missed opportunity or feeling like, oh my gosh, this is such a struggle, the push here for you is, actually those colors kind of go. The color of the couch kind of goes with her dress. The push is, don't get all emotional and woe is me about it. If you need to sit yourself into that more logical, detached energy, and then think about it from that higher perspective. What is my lesson? What am I really supposed to be learning here? And let that help guide you. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So again, this actually goes really nicely with this message of failure. A lot of times people will say, and like athletes will say this as well, you learn more from your failures than you do from your victories. So what is it that has fallen apart? What is it that's challenging you right now where you're feeling like a failure? And what is that trying to show you? Because that is showing you your key to what your path is forward and how you need to heal. Because if you knew that everybody would be supported, how would you be behaving? Are you currently sitting in an energy of trying to accommodate whatever this situation is, trying to mold yourself around it because you're scared about what's going to happen to everybody else, including yourself? Like what's going to happen if I do this? What's going to happen if I do that? If you knew you would be okay, what would you do? All right. Trust your gut feeling. Let your heart lead you to who you are. So all of these messages, this is very strong coming together of these messages for you, that these failures, or, whatever this is that you feel like you're locked out of your happiness, you're locked out of your blessings, this missed opportunity. This is Spirit trying to push you to make a different decision. It's trying to push you to see, what is this lesson, so that you can close it out and move on. All right. So since it's Virgo full moon, we'll start with Virgo and see what additional messages come through for you. We have our 7 of Cups and 8 of Cups. So this is going to be like your 7 of Cups is a little bit of this indecisiveness, like there's too many options. So when you look at this card with her, she's got all of these different options, all these different drinks, different cocktails, lots of different types, lots of variation there. And this is what she is trying to make a choice about. And then the 8 of Cups is about kind of abandoning some of that and letting go, like not letting yourself get overwhelmed. And, because there are a lot of options there. So not letting yourself get overwhelmed. Instead, just kind of saying, okay, I need to search for what the answer is. So sometimes it has a sense of like abandonment of, you know what, maybe none of these are good options. Maybe whatever it is that you've been thinking about, maybe none of them are really very good options. And you need to look at what other alternatives are there. And maybe the reason why you've been locked out of your blessings is because you thought that these were your choices. But when you look at how many choices there are, there's probably more. And it's just, hey, those were the top 7, but why is it just 7? Maybe there's 10 choices. And think about it a little bit different of how can you make a different choice, learn what it is that you need to learn, and then move on with things. And to trust your gut feeling and trust your path, that you will be guided towards where you need to be. It's just a matter of sitting in that higher consciousness, sitting in that inner knowing, that inner wisdom of listening to spirit about what it is that they're trying to tell you. All right, so that was for Virgo. Ooh, now we will take a look at Capricorn. Let's pull a couple cards there. We've got our 10 of Cups in reverse, and we have our 5 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups in reverse, this is about like some family feuds and some separation and trouble at home. And that's probably where you're feeling like you're locked out of your blessings. And then with your 5 of Cups, it's that you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on these cups that are knocked over. You still do have 2 more cups. So just because you feel like, there's all this unrest at home, and when I say home, it can either mean your actual physical house that you live in, or it could mean your home. Like, where do you feel at home? So there's some unrest there, but it's this whole focusing on the wrong things. You're focusing on what it is that you're losing, as opposed to looking at, okay, what are you gaining by being able to move past that? What are you gaining when you look at this and say, okay, I'm trusting my path, I'm going to move forward. So that was for our Capricorn. Now we are on to Taurus. Let's see what messages are coming through for Taurus. What do you need to know for this weekend? 2 of Pentacles, making a decision, and 2 of Wands. So you definitely are in a decision point. So 2 of Pentacles means that you're kind of like bouncing back and forth between these difficult choices. You have this like split loyalty type of thing. So if you feel like you've been locked out of your blessings, it's almost like, okay, maybe you're not happy in a relationship, but it's like, well, do I want to stay because I think I'm supposed to stay, or do I want to be true to myself and do what makes me happy? And then there's, the 2 of Wands is this personal power, and that's about making a decision, and sometimes has to do with traveling. So, actually the interesting thing when you look at this, so look at this card. I'm trying to see if I can get it to focus on the card. There's 2 sets of hands. This is one lady, but holding the mop in one hand, broom in the other hand, but it's 2 sets of hands. So it's kind of that sense of living in 2 different worlds. Like you're living in this one world because you feel like you're supposed to, but then there's this other world of, but what is it that I really want? Like I'm living here, but I don't really want this. And so this is that sense of, if you are sitting in this energy of I'm here in this scenario because I feel like I'm supposed to be here, a 5 of Pentacles, you are locked out of your blessings because that's not where you want to be. And then with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse, that you've had missed opportunities. You've had opportunities to change it, and you haven't, because you're sitting in this energy of call this split loyalties energy of, well, I want to leave, but I don't feel like I can't, so you have that going through your head, and you have that running. But so coming back to here, you really need to sit in that higher vibration, that inner knowing, that higher wisdom of, you need to do what's right for your soul. And if you're right with your soul, you're able to be your best self, and you're able to help support others around you if there's change going on. So it's kind of that whole thing of when you're in the plane and they say, oh, put your own mask on before helping others. Like if you're in a good spot because you're doing what's right for you, you can help others, along the path if they're struggling with whatever this is. So that was our message for our earth signs. Next, we have our water signs. That is going to be our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what messages are coming through for you. Our jumper card was the Empress. So this is that creative, nurturing, abundant type of energy. And it also has to do with like birthing new ideas. So sometimes it's associated with fertility, but not to get off track if birthing a new child is not in the cards for you or on the docket. It's also it's about birthing new ideas, new projects, new creativity and passions. Okay. We have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. So this is going along with this card about that creativity and that nurturing. Like you feel like you've been locked out of your blessings and you've missed some opportunities. And, now you're being called upon to sit in that more nurturing, fertile, creative type of space. Okay. Yes. Just say yes. I'll pull another one as well. But that's kind of this whole thing of, are you telling yourself, oh, I can't do this because of that. Oh, I can't do this. Like, are you locked out of your blessings here and missing opportunities because you're too busy finding all the reasons why it doesn't make sense? But I mean, these cards, they all go very well together. Using your imagination and saying yes to things that come across your plate. And the card I pulled, the second one, was the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. So some of that's a matter of, if you're living very 3D focused, that can be draining on you at some point, especially for people who are on like the spiritual awakening path, which most likely if you're watching tarot readings, you are. Being stuck to 3D can be kind of draining, and you need some of that creative soul essence type of flow in your life. Oops, and this one jumped as well. So, happy life. Live a less guarded life and return to joy. We are here to experience joy. So again, that goes along wonderfully with the card about, or with my comment about, don't get stuck to 3D. Like, you need some of that creativity to be able to bring in that joy and that happiness for you. So let's take a look then with our individual signs. So we'll start with Scorpio. Pull two cards. We have our Three of Swords. Oh, that is two cards there. The Fool and Three of Swords. Three of Swords in reverse. So the Fool, that's about some sort of a new beginning. And your Three of Swords in reverse is, there's a sense of like optimism and forgiveness and moving on. So, normally in the upright, that's about heartbreak and struggles, but in the reverse, it's about moving on. And so if you feel like you've been stuck in this energy, missed opportunities and feeling like you're locked out of your blessings, you're kind of hitting that point where it's like, I'm done with it. I'm done lamenting what isn't working, and I'm going to push myself more into that space of joy, that space of happiness, this great gathering. Like, how can I connect with other people in my soul tribe to be able to get that sense of joy back in my life? And you'll experience that new beginning. When you can connect to your imagination and your creativity, when you can connect to this Empress energy, you'll be able to move on from that rough energy of being locked out of your blessings. So next we will take a look at Pisces. Pull two cards there. We have our Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we have our Four of Wands in reverse. So our Nine of Pentacles in reverse, that's going to be this sense of like overspending. The Four of Wands in reverse, so this is a card, it comes up, it's kind of a big one for twin flames because it's the 11-11. Upside down, it's still 11-11. But in reverse, it's kind of like there's this lack of teamwork and there's self-doubt and kind of like this sense of family discord. So rather than having it be a happy, warm family feel, it's the opposite of that. And that, you know, that could be keeping you locked out of your blessings. So if you're overspending, it's kind of like there's this overspending that's affecting the family. And so whether that's money, whether that's time, something is draining where it's just like resources out, and your bucket is not being filled. You're not getting that creative hit. You're not getting that, that sense of abundance flowing within you. So your push to be able to get out of that energy, because it seems like it's really heavy lack energy that's coming through for Pisces. Yeah. I want to make sure I put the right one in there. This lack energy that's coming through for Pisces, like we're locked out of our blessings. It's all of this, you know, resources flowing out. You need to put that joy, that beauty, that creativity, you know, spend more time focusing on your hobbies. Like go ground yourself, go walk out in nature. You know, if you're an artist, create things. And when I say an artist, that doesn't mean that you have to be good. That doesn't mean that you have to be a painter that has artwork out in a gallery somewhere. I don't care. Do adult coloring books, you know, whatever. Just do something creative to help bring some of that energy back into you instead of feeling like all of it is pushing out. All right, Cancer. Part 2 for you. Queen of Pentacles in reverse and Six of Wands in reverse. Okay. There's a sense of disappointment that's coming in for you. And then it's also this like overbearing selfish. So it's kind of like you feel like you're locked out of your blessings, and that is pushing you into this state of, I'll call it arrogance and like this overbearing kind of selfish energy. Like, gosh darn it, if I can't have, you know, if I'm feeling locked out of my blessings, then everybody is, you know, like if I can't be happy, no one's being happy. And so this is hitting you hard as well, kind of pushing into that cold energy that, you know, this is the way it is type of energy. And so again, having that sense of needing to connect with your soul tribe, needing to connect at a deeper level with that loving, flowing, nurturing, abundant type of energy to break you out of this cycle of focusing on what is it that you don't have? What is it that's missing in your life? So that was a message that was coming through for Cancer and for all of our water signs. So next, let's move on to our air signs and see what additional messages are coming through. The Fool, new beginnings. So that's kind of that energy of, you know, especially look at here with the greens in here. So, you know, this new fresh start, because you're tired of being locked out of your blessings. You're tired of feeling like you're missing out on different opportunities in life. So it's kind of that energy of, all right, fresh new start. Let's go. And this is, you know, a little bit with that Virgo full moon energy of let's just cross things off the list. Let's get it done. Let's start getting some traction somewhere. Sometimes it's good to take the biggest thing on your to-do list and get it done, but sometimes you just need to build the momentum by getting lots of these little things done. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And so this is kind of the whole thing as we pair it with these two, where you're feeling like you're locked out of your blessings and you've had, you know, missed opportunities and you're disappointed. This is that sense of, okay, no blaming other people. Like, yes, that's the way you feel, but what do you need to do to change that? Right. Soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So as you're trying to transition out of the, lack feeling, out of that disappointment feeling, out of that feeling of struggling and hardship, call in your soul tribe. Let them help lift you up to give you that fresh new start. Gift of freedom. Break away from your attachments. So this one, you're going to get that fresh new start, that feeling of starting over, of that kind of excitement, like when something new is coming up, it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm taking that leap of faith. I'm going to do that. And that's that gift of freedom. Break away from your attachments. Why are you letting yourself continue to be attached to this narrative that isn't serving you, that's leaving you feeling out in the cold, that's leaving you feeling like you're struggling and like you have all these hardships? So it's a matter of, how can you detach from that so that you can live that life of happiness, live that life of abundance? And sometimes it's not even so much physically detaching from whatever circumstances, situation. It's a mental shift. It's, if you feel like you're trapped at your job, oh, I hate it. And, if that's what you tell yourself every day, that you hate your job and you're trapped, you will feel every day like you hate your job and you're trapped. If you shift that to give yourself a fresh perspective and give yourself the freedom of saying, you know what, I acknowledge that this is not my first choice of a job, but it pays the bills and, allows me to do other things in my life that I want to do. Like whatever story it is that you're telling yourself, stop telling yourself the negative slant on it. Tell yourself the positive of it, because you're responsible for your well-being. And if it's really that bad, break away from that attachment. Why do you feel like you're attached to that job to begin with? All right, so this is our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So we will start with Libra. The Magician in reverse and Ace of Swords. So with your Ace of Swords, that's going to be this new project. And you have this breakthrough, this clarity of thought, new thoughts, new ideas about, okay, how do I break free from this situation? The Magician in reverse has kind of that energy of feeling like you're trapped in whatever that situation. Like normally, that has to do with feeling like you're transforming lead into gold. But this is almost like, you feel like your talents are being wasted. Like you feel like you can't break free from that. So that's for Libra, and Libra is all about that balance. And so if you're in a situation where you feel like you're not being able to balance it, that's kind of giving you that sense of, whatever this is, like that you've tried balancing it and it's just not balancing. So some new idea, some new clarity, new breakthrough is coming through for how do you transition out of that mindset and transition into, more of an abundant mindset. So that's what's going to trigger this new journey for you, is once you can get that breakthrough, once you get that clarity, it will trigger this new journey, this leap of faith for you. All right, that was Libra. Let's take a look at Aquarius. Pull two. Page of Wands in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse. So this is kind of this like dull and indecisive energy. Like you don't really know what to do about this situation. And there's kind of this sense of like greediness and a little bit of like irresponsibility. So it's almost like you don't know what to do about it. So it's kind of like, I'll just do whatever's best for me. And it's almost like, not necessarily in a good way. This is reading more like exploiting is probably too strong of a word, but like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, to hell with all the rest of you, like type of sense. So you're trying to get out of a bad situation, but be mindful of the fact that you might be digging yourself a little bit of a hole if you're kind of in that greedy type of energy, and a little bit of this kind of financial irresponsibility. So it's almost like I don't really know how to get out of the situation, so I'm just going to keep throwing money at it and distract myself, doing something extravagant or whatever. And that may come around to bite you once things kind of settle. So be mindful of that. All right. And we have Gemini. So Gemini, what is it that we need to be mindful of this weekend? Okay. King of Wands in reverse and the Tower in reverse. So our King of Wands in reverse, there's a little bit of this impulsive energy and almost like bullying energy. And when you put it with the Tower in reverse, so the Tower in reverse is about you're resisting positive change. Like you're desperately holding on to something, and and I like it in this deck. So the Tower, rather than like the traditional deck where it's, lightning strikes the tower, there's people flying out of the tower and catching on fire. I like it because this is a Jello mold. And so it's kind of like, Jello molds are not very stable. They're not very sturdy. And so it's almost kind of this sense of, you're trying to keep something together that maybe needs to kind of fall apart. And with the King of Wands in reverse, it's almost like that, bullying, like you're trying to push and force the situation to be what you want it to be, even though what you really need to do is just let the situation go. Let it be what it's going to be, not what you think it needs to be. So once you do that, there is this new fresh start that's coming through, and it's going to give you that sense of freedom. So you're locked out of your blessings right now because you are desperately trying to keep something together that shouldn't necessarily be kept together. So allow it to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. And sometimes it's not even that it's not supposed to be happening. It's more like there's this idea in your mind that it's supposed to look like this, and therefore I'm going to push and I'm going to, kind of power through trying to get it to look the way I want it to look, when in reality you need to step back and let divine timing come in, let the universe come in and say, this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going to go. So that was our message for air signs. Last but not least, we have our fire signs. So let's see what wants to come through for fire signs. Well, there's two. The Hanged Man and the Tower. So this weekend, this weekend, something needs to be changing. Something needs to crumble. So the Tower it can be as dramatic as, massive major structural changes. Sometimes it's also that aha moment of realizing, oh, that's what needs to happen. So it's not necessarily as dramatic as you're getting fired this weekend. You're getting evicted from your house this weekend. You're filing for divorce. Like, it's not necessarily like that, but it's these big, fundamental kind of life-altering aha. And then you also have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is kind of that sense of like self-imposed reflection and pondering this change and making adjustments. And so there is a sense of sacrifice, because when the Tower comes in, there's going to be changes. Like, things change, but you have to be able to adjust to it. So with both of those coming out together, those are actually really good to come out together. That, having that Tower moment is making you reflect. All right. And sometimes seeing it from a different perspective as well, where you're looking at it, sometimes there's that mentality of, oh my gosh, the Tower, everything is falling apart. Why is this happening to me? It's happening for you. And so if you can see it from a different perspective, like, oh, that's why. I guess I didn't learn that lesson. When you can see it from a higher perspective, it helps. I do like it. He's given this side eye, real strong side eye here about, really? This is what's happening? All right. Here we go. Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So, so with this, whatever is collapsing is what's keeping you from being able to sit in that energy, that true energy of love. So, you know, and with this combination together, it's a good combination because you feel like you've been locked out of your blessings. You feel like you've missed some opportunities here. And so the Tower comes in to be like, done feeling locked out of your blessings, done feeling like you have missed these opportunities. Let's change it up. Let's get you into your abundance. Let's get you into those opportunities. That one was starting to flip. Deep replenishment. Actually, both of these flipped. Okay. Deep replenishment. Rest, retreat, be held, and Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So this is kind of the whole idea of, for one, you need this time of reflection. You need this like self-imposed solitude to just allow yourself to rest, to be held, to be able to feel that loving, nurturing feeling. And then this card with this seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. If depending on the depth of feeling locked out of your blessings, it's not like, oh, hey, I thought about this for 10 minutes and now I'm better. So you're laying the foundations for how am I rebuilding my life where there is love? How am I rebuilding my life to be successful, to have that feeling of being loved and being on the right path? Here we have free will. Get out of your cocoon. Oh. So if you're feeling trapped, which depending on the extent of your Five of Pentacles feeling, get out of that cocoon. You have the ability to do it. And actually these go really well together. Getting out of that and readjusting what it was that you thought you were here to do, what it is that you need to do in your life going forwards. Get out of your regular comfort zone and shift yourself into those blessings. Like, don't get yourself so caught up emotionally. Oh, I can't do this, can't do this. This King of Swords energy is more of that decisive, this is what we're doing. Like, I've made my decision. I've made the decision rationally, but this is what we're doing. And then push yourself in that direction, knowing that you're getting to a point of love. So it's not like you're doing it in a totally cold way, but it's kind of like you need someone to step in and be like, all right, let's do it. All right. So, fire signs is Aries, Leo, Sag. So we will start with Leo. What two cards are coming out for you? Three of Pentacles and the Empress in reverse. So your Three of Pentacles, that's about this collaboration and teamwork. If you are in a twin flame connection, a lot of times that has to do with being on mission and finding your mission, because it's, divine masculine, feminine, and spirit all coming together for your mission. And then with your Empress in reverse energy, it's a little bit of like this blocked creativity and you're feeling unappreciated. So this is, you're feeling unappreciated and you need to push into more of this energy of feeling those blessings from the divine. Let's pull one more card. This is for our Leos. Queen of Cups in reverse. So this is, there's some insecurities and some kind of fragility that you're feeling because of the fact that you're feeling unappreciated and you're feeling like you're being locked out of all of that abundance, and you feel this tower coming in. But know that on the other side of that, you have the Three of Pentacles waiting for you. So on the other side of that, you have that collaboration, that teamwork, that love. You're laying the foundation for it, to be able to have that Three of Pentacles on the other side. So Sagittarius, what is coming up for you? Six of Pentacles and Nine of Swords. So, all right, there's a lot of anxiety that's coming up related to feeling disappointed and like out in the cold and feeling like you've missed these opportunities. There's a lot of disappointment that's coming with that and a lot of like stress and anxiety. And then at the same time, there is a sense of, some charity and usually Six of Pentacles is about kind of like charity and generosity and giving. Although this kid in this deck, he has this really devilish little look. So it's almost kind of like giving, but what am I taking from the situation as well? So there's a lot of, like I said, anxiety and stress for Sagittarius. Let's pull one more and see what additional insight or guidance is coming through. The Devil. So there's temptations. It's what is pulling you off your path. Devil. So the little kid has the devil horns too. So something is trying to pull you off your path. And, so some of it, that's what's keeping you looping here. So when you're feeling like anxious and stressed and worn out, it's because of the fact like that you just kind of keep looping through this, but you need to let the Tower come through to clear out this devil energy, because this devil energy is what's keeping you looping. And remember, the devil energy can be anything. I mean, like in this one, it's all sorts of vices. It's smoking, it's drinking, it's pills, it's eating. Like they have ready cheese and instant coffee on here as well. But that's any patterns, behaviors, people, experiences that are keeping you from your highest path. Okay. As I'm flipping cards out on the floor. So last but not least, we have Aries. So let's see what message is coming through here for Aries for this weekend. What is going on? The Emperor and the Three of Cups in reverse. So there's a little bit of this like sense of loneliness and overindulgence as you're watching the Tower happening. So you're watching the Tower happening and you're trying to see it from a different perspective and trying to see, okay, now what is the silver lining here? But it's kind of just pushing you into that kind of loneliness, reclusive type of energy, which sometimes is okay. I would say that's better than desperately trying to keep the Tower from falling. Sometimes it's just a matter of, okay, I just need to be alone. Let this fall, because this is what needs to be cleared out. And then you have your Emperor energy as well. So your Emperor energy is more of that divine masculine, like driven, so even driven, powerful leaders need some break and have that little bit of time of being lonely. But that Emperor energy, that's that good, strong energy of you're not going to go running and chasing, trying to keep this Tower from happening, like acknowledging that, yes, that has to happen so that it can get cleared out, so that I can sit in that energy of love, so that I can sit in that, like laying my foundations to be able to have a brighter future type of energy. So I hope that this reading has been helpful and that it's given you some things to think about for this weekend. So as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind for someone else. And there will be some additional videos posting this weekend. So make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you can be alerted as those videos post. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.